November 24th, 2024, and this video is called Can't Track the Fukushima Pack and Stack Radiological Impact. Now this is just about basically these bags that are just all over the place outside of Fukushima. They're not all over the country, but they want to distribute what's in these bags across the country, which is crazy. But check this out. This is a aerial of Unit 1. Does that look like it was just like a car on the side of the road that caught fire? That's just been sitting on the side of the road for a couple of years? That is exactly what this reactor looks like. The other ones, they cover them so they don't look this bad. They're building a wall up over here because this thing is probably disintegrating. But I wanted to show you a couple things I found, which is just unbelievable. Another word comes to mind is ridiculous. Now, these are newer satellite ones. If you go to some old videos of mine, there's the newer, it was the older satellite images. And look at how they kind of perfected the art of bagging nuclear waste. Now this will surprise you, because it surprised me, because what I found out, or I think I could be right, that these little pyramids are actually, I found one with the different stages of its building, and it looks like these are the bags under them, and then they dump soil on top of it. I think that's what I figured it out. Now, the colors are probably maybe different Becquerel levels, or maybe depending on what it is. But this is just obnoxious is what comes to my mind. Here's that one. I was going to show you this later, but now I come across it. Here's the different layers. I'll explain it now since it's right here. What it is they prepare these fields, right? That used to probably be farmland, like this guy right here. This right here is turning into storage for nuclear waste on an unimaginable level. So this is soil that they've been scraping the ground, even though all this radiation, his favorite friend is water, who follows the path of least resistance. And so this stuff ends up in the lower ends of the earth, I would think, right? The armpits of the earth. But eventually ends up in our bones and beneath our gravestone, I guess. That's what eventually all this stuff in here, if humans are around for a long time, hundreds of years, this stuff in here will eventually make it into us and to the ground. Unless, you know what, maybe in the future we'll all be cremated and then we just go up into the air. Isn't that ashes to ashes? So here's here's the levels right here. So they get this farmland, which was grown flowers and vegetables, and they flatten it out, put soil down. Then they put a tarp down as a barrier. See that? And here, look at this truck over here. And then once they put that barrier down, they start putting the bags down, the 1-ton bags. They stack and pack them. Look at the little truck here. Looks like they're actually, that looks like, no, it almost look like a human, but no, that's not a giant. This is the truck right here. So what it is, they stack and pack them. That's the black. Then they put a barrier on it, which is this blue, and it must be the final one is green. But it does kind of look like there's bags at the bottom. Oh no, these are sandbags to kind of keep this down. But so that's the different levels of this radiological pyramid. And it's just amazing. Figured out, I wanted to throw this in here as I was editing. It dawned on me, the reason why green is the last color that they zip it up with, they dress it up with, it's because they want to blend into the green grass grew all around and around. See that? Green. So it doesn't look so obnoxious. Can you imagine if these bags were, the final layer was pink or purple or yellow or orange, something that will stand out? Hell no, they don't want to cover this up. They don't want you to know that they've destroyed a whole freaking country by one death machine or 4 death machines. They want this to blend in, out of sight, out of mind. You'll drive right past this and go, wow, look at that green meadow over there. Isn't it pretty? All right, let's go around here just a little bit because I got a lot of pages to cover. It's just incredible here. Now, if you look at this one, they're everywhere around this area. It's incredible how much of this stuff at different phases. They look like big computer chips, like a motherboard. And here's probably wood, and they're sorting it. But let me move on here because there's a lot of stuff to cover here. It's kind of crazy. Look at this one. This is one of the more ridiculous ones I've seen. Look at the levels of this. I almost couldn't figure it out. It looks like these definitely are not into the ground. This is risen up. But look at the level on this obnoxious site that they're building. This may be one of the most ridiculous ones I've found. Look at this. What the hell's going on over here? This is crazy. It looks like this looks deep or something. I don't know. Oh no, here's the wall. It goes up and up. So what it is I think this is just a very large, obnoxious one. Look at this one over here. I know this one I'm going to come across later. Look at it, it's tearing apart. There's a hole in this one. But as you could see, these areas in here, I mean, look at this. This is when people say that it's a clean energy. Look at this shit. This is like obnoxious. I think I might have hit the jackpot. Look at this shit. This is definitely out of sight, out of mind, unless you're on a satellite. So look at, if I go this way, I miss all of this fun. And all this. But then, look at this thing. This is obnoxious. I don't think these are solar panels. This looks like they're gonna store something here. I don't know. Is this like bumming you out yet? All right, we'll move on. Now, on normal Google Maps, I've been doing this years, you get this on them. This is the way it used to be in Japan in some areas around there years ago. See latest date. This is July 2024. You can look at 24, 23, 2013, 2018. This one's in Ohio. But if you go into Japan, especially over by Let's go to a city over here. Okay, we'll just go over here. You go on it, and there's no option to see like the old years. So just keep that in mind. I thought this one was obnoxious. And then I think I went like this, went to the street view, and look at it shows you from 2013. But if you come up like this, and there it is. Look at this is what it used to be. Just nature. Now what is it? Contaminated environment. Now look at after the Fukushima disaster, millions of tons of contaminated soil were collected in large black bags, each weighing about 1 ton. About 70,000 workers removed contaminated soil, branches, grass, and other debris from around homes, schools, and public buildings. The soil was placed in temporary storage facilities called Farrakhan, scattered around the exclusion zone. The bags were about the size of a hot tub. The government plans to move the soil to an interim storage facility and then to a permanent site outside of Fukushima Prefecture by 2045. However, no location has yet agreed to take the waste. Some of the challenges include that the landowners refuse to pay for the transportation, and others are unaware that their land contains radioactive material. New homes have been built on land where contaminated soil was buried. And get this one, a typhoon damaged a nuclear waste storage area, spilling radioactive contents into a river. That is probably the tip of the iceberg when you have a typhoon, considering the vastness of how many bags are like all over the country. Here is just, I typed it in, 1 ton radioactive soil, Fukushima, Japan, and look at, here's some of the close-ups. Look at this is how they're working over there. Look at this is the stack and pack. That's why I called it that. Look at this. I thought this was an obnoxious one here. Okay, on this one, look at this. This is another part of Japan. Look at the size of this. It is, and they have all this. Look at this. This is like future right here. All this is the future. You can't, like, you burn it, goes back up in the air, it comes down as rain, you bury it. It's all they can practically do is probably bury it. But look at this. This is what they do. They bury it, and it's going to take up the whole country. It's not like America where they got a lot of land to do all this stuff. Look at this stuff in here. The stack and pack, the good old stack and pack. So we'll see. This is out towards here, so this is outside of here. Let's see down here if they're preparing this stuff for it. Yeah, look at that. Is that incredible? Look at. So I bet you maybe in the future this area is going to be all that too. Isn't that sad? I hope not. Look at this over here. Are they preparing this? Possibly. This is ridiculous. This is exactly what they're doing. They're filling it in and they're going to pack and stack over here. Now look at this one. This is like a stain. inside this big conglomerate. Now, this is what I thought too was kind of weird. They're covering something up. You see how this has got a big tear in it? I think this is maybe one of them that might have tore or a part of it collapsed. Because look at this. Isn't this kind of strange that they had to cover it up with this corner over here? Or is it possible this is the newer one where the bags are deteriorated? See that? Something's going on over here, and this is the old one, but I don't think so. But look at the height of this pyramid. This is definitely a mountain. That's, I thought, was one of the more obnoxious ones. I mean, this whole thing is obnoxious. Wouldn't you agree? Look at this. What are you going to do in 50 years when this stuff is just all over the place? Look at this one. This is obnoxious. What is this? You wonder what is it? Yep, looks like it's like got some height to it over here. So they look at this. They got the road here. They bring it in. What's this blue building? Yeah, they probably bring it in through here, this road. Yep, there's the gate. Come down over here. Come in here. And so forth. They started way back here. Probably look at there's over in here too. I mean, there's roads. These are like mountains, actually, little mountains that they're building. Now, the bags of moss in the Fukushima area contained cesium-137, an isotope that accumulated in the moss as the result of the nuclear meltdown. The most significant long-term contaminant from Fukushima, concentrations from 28 to 4,700 becquerels a kilogram. So this is, I mean, it's at like hundreds of thousands, like in some areas, so this doesn't count. What I asked it though for what isotopes are in the bags, says the radiological isotopes released from Fukushima include iodine-131, cesium-134, xenon-133, iodine-131 decays quickly and is no longer detectable in the environment, but it was a significant health concern at the time. The radioactive material from the accident leaked into the air, the soil, the sea. It was detected around the world. FDA monitors food items for the radionuclides. We all know that, but they failed. This was kind of a weird contrasted color here. Look at this blue. So they're getting these areas already here. What's amazing is this is what it used to be. Farm fields, probably fruit trees. And this is what, unfortunately, that's an ancient land over there. That is an ancient land. So that's why I think they're burying this stuff. Look at this. You get these soil hills, these pyramids, and let's see over here. It's just weird. I'm trying to figure out why it's all this soil like this. And I have a feeling is the soil that they scraped, or this is soil that they're covering the bags with. But where are they getting all this soil from? I have a feeling that this is soil that they're scraping that's contaminated, and they're just trying to, instead of putting that into bags, they're just laying it down like here and just covering it up. This is kind of baffling me a little bit. See all these pyramids over here? Pyramids of soil. They buried something there. You know? I don't get it. I can't see that they would just stack these up perfectly edged where they're going to use this as a later date. Like this is just storing soil. No, I think something is definitely buried over here. And as a matter of fact, look, here's a truck right there, right next to one. And look at here. Or who knows? I wouldn't put it past them if this is getting topsoil to sell to their garden centers. So look at, here's something here. There's the pyramid. So definitely they're gonna use this whole area, at least this whole area, as a storage dump, a nuclear waste dump. This is kind of strange. I just wanted to do this one real quick because I was trying to figure out, I was looking, where are these cars? This is a ghost city, right? So then I'm thinking, what the hell was this thing? See this little dot right here? I wonder if they censored that. And if not, what is that little dot? Was it like a car they wanted to disguise? Because if you look at these highways, they're pretty much empty. This, I think, is an exclusion zone, because you do not see cars or any sign of life at all in this city. So let's see where it's at. Yep, it's pretty close. This will blow your mind. I found some really cool, a handful of cool little tidbits, because when I first looked at this street view, watch this, I first noticed like this stuff. Then I noticed that right there, the blue bag. And I was thinking, hey, I wonder what they're doing over here. Maybe they're trimming up the weeds and trying to get them out of here, because when you put these isotopes in the soil, they get transported. They're soluble, I think, and they get into the roots and they go into those plants. So that's why it's going to be hard to get rid of this radiation, because it's in the biosphere, or whatever the hell you want to call it, right? So then those bags right there, I was like, whoa. So it's definitely, they're probably taking that stuff, putting into these bags, and then they get picked up. See that? But what blew me away, I kept looking around over here, and I seen this. Abandoned buildings. Blue bag, there's the 1-ton bag, I think. Although I think the black ones are 1-tonners. But there's the bag. Then here's a little excavator. Look at this, a pile of debris here, right? So then I looked at this guy. I said, what the hell? Look at his sign. It's yellow. It wants to stick out. So what I did is I took a little screenshot of that thing right there. And look at that. It's right there. Boom. And I translated it. You could translate this stuff. And look at what it came up. This right there means contamination work in progress. I was right on the button on that. So it was decontamination. And then I typed that into Google, decontamination in progress, and look what comes up. This one's ridiculous. Look at this. This is probably an old picture, because there's no way I could find these guys. So here's decontamination. There's the stack and pack, or pack and stack. Look at these guys are cutting down look at this. What they're experiencing over there, we cannot imagine. Like, this is the worst movie that is being played out, but it's real. Look at this. Look at that. Boom. I'm gonna do more results and just see what comes up. Look at this. Look at this nice Photoshop. They got the guy in the background trimming in a suit. This is just incredible. Okay, let's go on. That's the one I was looking at. So I took this and translated this, I'm pretty sure. But look at this. Is this... I wish Craig could see this and tell me that the situation is under control. And so I ended up translating it. And it says, decontaminated soil, reuse, regulatory agency and experts questioned. Reuse. Then I started going down the rabbit hole. Look at this topsoil. See, they're spreading it out, and I think that's what this turns into. So some, I think they are bearing bags, and others, I think they're just tarping up soil that's contaminated. Now, the contaminated soil from the meltdown. Okay. Yes, the Japanese government has proposed reusing contaminated soil from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster in concrete for roads and other public works. The goal is to reduce the amount of soil that needs to be permanently disposed of by using less contaminated soil for public works. So in other words, they only have so much space to take this stuff. So they only want to save it for the most contaminated. So the other stuff, they're going to use it in public works so that can be reused. The government plans to use soil that is less than 8,000 becquerels per kilogram of cesium. Now, the government is using it 8,000 becquerels or less. The soil can be used in roads, embankments, and other civil engineering structures. This is crazy if they are going to be using this, say, in Tokyo or in any other part of the country, because they're just going to take this contaminate. They want to, dilution is their solution. They want to distribute it throughout all the country, which is an unbelievable thought. Now, okay, I asked what is some of that stuff. So here's the Japanese Ministry of Environment. This is a certain department here now, has established a maximum radioactivity level of 6,000 becquerels a kilogram for soil to be used in embankments. Now, this is the one that blew me away. Oh, here you go. There's the pilot projects. I just came across this right now. The ministry has planned pilot projects to bury radioactive soil under a layer of cover soil in parking lots and flower beds. However, residents in the areas where these projects are planned have opposed the plan. The ministry is researching how to use the soil, including whether it can be used to grow vegetables. Says the total amount of contaminated soil is estimated to be around 20 million cubic meters. That's quite a pile. Now, I looked up the Fukushima peach orchards. I want to see, where are they growing? Look at this. Azuma orchard. I was looking at this one because I was thinking, hey, if this soil is contaminated kind of close to the plant, where are they growing and selling this stuff? Then I came across this. Here is the tourist fruit land. This is from 2024. There's a car here. And if you look, it looks like bags of rice over there, right? So I looked at this right in here too. The name of the store. I just want to show you where this is at. Let me see if there's any reviews on it. Let me see the ones. Those are usually the better ones. Where's the ones at? Bear with me. I wish they would show you it. Let's see. Here's the one. Oh boy. It was just an unfriendly lady at the front store. Oh well. Okay, let's go on. So here is the sign, and so I translated it, and it says lovely fruits, tourist orchard, local delivery available. So yeah, they're selling fruit over there. So as of April 2023 to 2024 March, the ratio of cesium-134 to 137 in non-marketed samples that exceed the limits is 397, whatever the heck that means. So this is why I wanted to show you this. Is the FDA collected nearly 1,700 samples over the past 10 years. None of them have been classified as being in a violation of the FDA laws and regulations. Only 3 of the samples were found to contain any detectable levels of cesium, but they said that these trace levels are below the established intervention level. So they're saying you could have some, but you can't. There's a certain level. But look at this number. For 10 years, they sampled 1,750 samples. That's like not even the tip of the iceberg, considering right over here it states the Japan exports a significant amount of food to the United States. Mostly like seafood, green tea, beverages. There's $260 billion that they're sending their shit over here. Yes, Japan exports fruits and vegetables to the United States. Here is, I think, although here's the corner here, I'm thinking, see, there's the bags right there. And then they must cover them. But look at, they put a fence around it so you don't see what they're doing on their playground. Isn't it amazing? They might have played with Tonka trucks when they were little kids, and they've got how many? 1,000 generations of playing in the sandbox in Japan. Their family line is not going to last this disaster. That's for damn sure. See, this is what I was telling you about. Look at these pyramids. These are not dug into the ground. The illusion. This is up high. So what the hell is being buried here? Look at all of them. See this right here? Boom. That's not that. These are the bags right here, I think. And then this is the soil. There's more of them here. Look at it, definitely is, because look at the fissures from the erosion, and it's spilling out. And look at this side. This whole corner look at it. It's leaking into here. Then it goes into here. So that's just, of course, amazing, ridiculous. And here is from the street right there. There's the bags and there's the soil. So they definitely are pyramids, not pools. I was standing right there looking at that pile and that. Is that freaking crazy? And this is where we started. Here's the layers. Soil, tarp, bags, tarp, and these are the final products. So definitely nuclear is not clean. It might be cheap, even though that's probably not true either. It's Russian roulette, maybe every 10 to 20 years you have something like this happen. They say, I think 10. We'll give it 20. And I guess we'll end it with the words of Michio Kaku on the analogy of Fukushima is a car that crashed on the side of the highway and just smoldered and burned and doing what it's doing now.
Think of driving a car, and the car all of a sudden lunges out of control. You hit the brakes. The brakes don't work. That's because the earthquake wiped out the safety systems in the first minutes of the earthquake and tsunami. Then your radiator starts to heat up and explodes. That's the hydrogen gas explosion. And then to make it worse, the gas tank is heating up, and all of a sudden your whole car is going to be in flames. That's the full-scale meltdown. So what do? You drive the car into a river. That's what the utility did by putting seawater from the Pacific Ocean in a desperate attempt to keep water on top of the core. But then seawater has salt in it, and that gums up your radiator. And so what do? You call out the local firemen. And so now you have these Japanese samurai warriors. They know that this is potentially a suicide mission. They're coming in with hose water, trying to keep water over the melted nuclear reactor cores. So that's the situation now. So when the utility says that things are stable, it's only stable in the sense that you're dangling from a cliff, hanging by your fingernails, and as the time goes by, each fingernail starts to crack. That's the situation now.
In the last 2 weeks, everything we knew about that accident has been turned upside down. We were told 3 partial meltdowns, don't worry about it. Now we know it was 100% core melt in all 3 reactors. Radiation, minimal that was released. Now we know it was comparable to the radiation at Chernobyl. So all the mythology of the accident has been turned upside down because utility has finally fessed up to how severe this accident really was.
In your view, did they not know how bad it was, or they knew and they didn't tell, or they just were completely blown away by the scope of the disaster?
I'm a physicist, and we tried to reconstruct the accident in our computers given the feeble amount of information they gave us. We knew it was much more severe than they were saying because radiation was coming out left and right. So, in other words, they lied to us. They knew how much radiation was coming out. They knew the danger. They knew how much core melting was taking place, but they tried to put a happy face on it.
As a reporter, within hours of the earthquake and tsunami, within hours, not even a day, there were already statements from the company and from the International Atomic Energy Association saying that there had been safe shutdown of all of the reactors. And we know, of course, in the end that simply wasn't true. But from the very beginning, they were trying to tell us that this was a safe situation.
Within hours of the accident, we now know it was like the Keystone Cops. People that are clueless, headless, just running around crazy, not knowing what to do.
This will be the 100-year cleanup. How long will it take to clean this up, in your view?
50 to 100 years. This could be the world's record holder for an industrial accident.
Downplaying the risks, and you begin to wonder, I mean, is Homer Simpson operating this nuclear power plant?